Hello and welcome to Liverpool Report. This is your home for all the latest Liverpool news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Anfield. Trent Alexander-Arnold says Arne Slot was as angry as he's ever seen him at half-time in Liverpool's win over Southampton, as the Reds defender gave what has become a rare post-match interview. The Premier League leaders were heavy favourites to beat the division's rock-bottom club at Anfield on Saturday, but they fell a goal down just before half-time when Will Smallbone's strike stunned the Kop end. Slot was watching on from the stands as he served the second of his two-match touchline ban, and the Dutchman looked visibly distressed with his side's display. He opted to take drastic action at the break, making a triple substitution as Kostas Tsimikas, Curtis-Jones and Dominic Szoboszlai were replaced by Andy Robertson, Alexis McAllister and Harvey-Elliott. The changes had the desired effect as Liverpool woke up after the break, with Darwin Núñez levelling from close range before two Mo Salah penalties secured a 3-1 win and stretched the Reds' lead at the top of the table to 16 points ahead of Arsenal's trip to Manchester United on Sunday. Reds vice-captain Alexander-Arnold has tended to shy away from the cameras this season amid ongoing uncertainty around his contract and constant links with a free transfer move to Real Madrid. But he spoke to LFCTV after Saturday's match and said Slot was as animated as he's been all season at the break. Probably the most angry we have seen him so far. I guess it's a good thing he's not been too animated so far. But I think rightfully so, said Alexander-Arnold. It wasn't good enough. We deserved to be down. But we came out second half with a point to prove and did that really early on. As a team and individuals, you'd like to be very good every single game. But it's not possible. You are going to have days like this where you don't play well, you're not proud of the performance. It's a day you look back on it and think, yeah, we got the 3 points. That's the most important thing. The win sets Liverpool up perfectly for the Champions League last 16-second leg against Paris Saint-Germain and Tuesday and next Sunday's Carabao Cup final against Newcastle. And Alexander-Arnold added, you can't downplay too much how important today's win was. To go 16 clear at this stage of the season is huge and puts a lot of pressure on Arsenal. We've done our work in the league now. Until after the internationals, now we focus on the two other competitions. Arne Slot was left stunned after watching Liverpool gift Southampton a shock lead at Anfield on Saturday afternoon, but the Reds weren't behind for long. The Premier League leaders were heavily fancied to beat the struggling Saints, who have won just twice in the league this season, and extend their imperious advantage over Arsenal at the summit, with Mikel Arteta's men playing on Sunday. But nobody was banking on two of Liverpool's most consistent performers in Alisson and Virgil van Dijk messing up at the back. Their mix-up gave Will Smallbone the chance to nudge Southampton into a precious lead just before half-time. The Liverpool head coach, serving the final match of his touchline ban, was seen with his head in his hands during the first half, not unlike some fans watching on. BBC Sport pundit Chris Sutton commented, I don't think anyone saw that coming. Alisson, having a word with the referee, he thought there was a foul. I think Alisson should come with his hands, but he comes with his foot. Will Smallbone with a brilliant finish. It's a clever finish. He actually nutmegs Alisson. Things almost got even worse for Liverpool just before the break, when a wild tackle from Darwin Núñez was checked by VAR. The Uruguay striker escaped further punishment though, after initially being shown a yellow card, and he made Southampton pay with a goal just minutes after the restart. As instant as Southampton's shock opener was, normal service was resumed just 3 minutes after Núñez had struck after the Reds were awarded a penalty. Mohamed Salah has never looked better, so it came as absolutely no surprise to anybody in the ground when he dispatched his penalty beyond Aaron Ramsdale in the away goal. Mohamed Salah has reached yet another Liverpool landmark with his strike against Southampton at Anfield. Liverpool's talisman scored his 31st goal of the season in front of the Kop to put the Reds in front against the Saints, and in doing so, he moved into outright third on the club's all-time top scorer list with 242 goals. Salah pulls clear of legendary 1920s and 30s forward Gordon Hodgson, a prolific figure who played international football for both South Africa and England, and also played cricket as a fast bowler for Lancashire, for whom he took 148 wickets in 56 first-class matches. Hodgson scored his 241 goals in just 377 matches, with Salah making his 389th appearance for the Reds in French capital. Roger Hunt sits second on the list with 285 goals in 492 matches, with Ian Rush out on his own at the top on 346 goals in 660 appearances. It was yet another timely strike for the Egyptian as he helped complete a rapid turnaround after falling behind to bottom club Southampton. A mix-up between Virgil van Dijk and Alisson had allowed Will Smallbone to put the Saints in front, who have managed just 9 points from their first 8 games, 27 matches. But after Arneslot rang the changes at the break, the runaway Premier League leaders turned the match in their favour. Darwin Núñez scored the equaliser after 51 minutes, before the Uruguayan was fouled by Smallbone just 2 minutes later. Salah stepped up to take the penalty, and although Aaron Ramsdale went the right way, his effort safely found its way to the back of the net. Victory over the Saints would give Liverpool a whopping 16-point lead over Arsenal, who play Manchester United on Sunday. The Gunners do still have a game in hand on Slot's men, though it's hard to see Liverpool surrendering such a lead given they've lost just once in the league all season. Liverpool survived a scare against relegation battlers Southampton as they came from behind to secure a 3-1 win, with Darwin Núñez's heroics helping them go 16 points clear at the top of the Premier League. The Reds were dominant in the early stages but were frustrated by the basement boys, who shocked the league leaders by taking the lead through Will Smallbone. Liverpool immediately hit back in the second half as goals from Núñez and Mohamed Salah helped turn the game on its head. Once Liverpool got in front, they were in control and had chances to extend their lead before Salah netted his second from the spot to secure a vital win. Liverpool Report has taken a look at the biggest talking points from the game at Anfield after Slot's men were made to work hard for their victory against the relegation strugglers. The Brazilian had just played an absolute blinder against PSG, putting in a man-of-the-match display to help Liverpool secure a smash-and-grab 1-0 win in the Champions League last 16 first leg, but he won't want to look back at Southampton's opener. Alisson and Virgil van Dijk were both at fault for Smallbone's strike after the latter tried to shepherd the ball into his goalkeeper's hands, but the ex-Roma shot-stopper failed to collect under pressure. Smallbone then had huge space to shoot with Alisson off his line and Van Dijk out of position as he calmly slotted into an empty net to send the travelling fans into raptures. Some Liverpool fans complained that Alisson had actually been fouled by Mateus Fernandes in the build-up to the goal after he fell to the ground after colliding with the midfielder. However, Liverpool players, nor Alisson, called for any foul and continued to play on before Southampton got their shock breakthrough. Being without the Dutchman on the touchline didn't seem to affect Liverpool in their 2-0 win over Newcastle 2 weeks ago, but they seemed to feel his absence against the Saints. In the first half, Liverpool looked lethargic and lacking intensity as they struggled to carve their lowly opponents open and could have done with Slot spurring them on from the dugout. But with Slot serving the second of his 2-match touchline ban after hammering referee Michael Oliver following the 2-2 draw against Everton last month, he was forced to sit up in the stands. The 46-year-old summed up practically every Liverpool fan in the first half as he was pictured with his head in his hands after watching Van Dijk and Alisson's mix-up, However, Slot was permitted to speak to his players in the dressing room at half-time, and it's clear that had a buoyant effect as Liverpool scored twice in 3 minutes in the opening minutes of the second half. Liverpool players will be relieved that Slot's ban is now over as they look ahead to some huge games, including the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle and the next Merseyside derby at Anfield. Every week it seems like we're talking about how Mo Salah has reached a landmark amid his incredible season for Liverpool. Salah has the incredible ability to come up with the goods even when he's not in the game, and he certainly didn't have the best game of his career against Southampton, but he still kept a cool head to bury a penalty that put them ahead. With just minutes to go, Liverpool were awarded a second spot kick after Diaz was fouled by Sugawara, and he made no mistake again. The Egyptian's brace means he has now been involved in 44 Premier League goals this season, which is a club record for the Reds. He now has 27 goals this season, and it's scary to think there are still 9 games to go this season, meaning he could break even more records. Just when you think Liverpool are going to suffer a difficult day, Darwin Núñez pops up to save the day. The Uruguayan did it against Brentford in January, when Liverpool were going into stoppage time at 0-0 and desperately needing a goal to keep their superior lead in the title race. He didn't just provide 1 goal, he came up with 2 to help secure a 2-0 win. That came after a tough period under Slot, where he was lacking game time, and he did the same thing against Southampton. Núñez has not scored or assisted in the league since that game against Brentford on January 18th, but after earning his first start since December, he delivered when it mattered. He ended his drought of 10 goals after thumping home from close range from Luis Diaz's pullback. Just 3 minutes later, he then won the penalty that Salah converted after being clattered by Smallbone. It will be a huge reminder for Slot of his ability to change a match despite starting just 7 Premier League games this season.